16-year-old Stella Berry was among a group of adolescents that spent a lovely day on the Swan River in North Fremantle, a suburb of Perth, Australia, on February 4, 2023. The warm sun and refreshing water set the perfect backdrop for their adventures. They laughed, raced on jet skis, and even experienced the thrill of jumping from a nearby traffic bridge rope swing. Stella, known for her infectious laughter and vibrant personality, was the life of the party. Being on the river was nothing unusual for her, as she often took friends out on the water skurfing. The Swan River Estuary, flowing through Perth, provided an ideal environment for various water sports and served as a reminder of nature's power. It intertwined with the city's skyline, creating a captivating contrast. The river teemed with over 130 fish species, including brim, blowfish, and sharks. At the same time, dolphins occasionally appeared, adding to the river's allure. As Stella and her friends relaxed near the Fremantle traffic bridge that afternoon, Stella's attention was captured by a remarkable sight: a pod of dolphins gracefully swimming in the water, seemingly carefree. The beauty of the moment enchanted her, resembling a work of art. She ran to tell her friends about the dolphins, and they were excited to swim with them. It was an adventurous and slightly daring idea, but not entirely unexpected. Stella and one of her friends hopped onto their jet skis and sped towards the dolphins, passing beneath the bridge. They reached the beach, where Stella leaped into the water, her intention fixed on swimming alongside the pond. Little did she know what lay beneath the murky brown river surface, obscuring her view of the hidden dangers that awaited her. Stella wasn't completely oblivious to the perils of the Australian coastline. She was an intelligent young woman with an impressive understanding of the ocean and its sharks. In 2017, when she was only 10 years old, Stella gained recognition in a local newspaper for designing a shark-free ocean pool at Perth Cottesloe Beach. Her project was presented to the city council in response to the sighting of great white sharks in the area, and the city invited ideas from the public. As an ambitious and intelligent student, Stella collaborated with a classmate to develop an impressive design that received praise from officials. However, she was probably unaware of the risks associated with the river which, like the ocean, harbored hungry creatures waiting for an opportunity to strike their prey. Thus, despite her awareness of ocean hazards, swimming alone in murky waters far from the shore would make Stella Berry susceptible to becoming prey. Stella's experience with the river's perils was very different from her expectations. She never got to swim with the dolphins and have that incredible, unforgettable moment. Instead, a giant creature with sharp teeth seized her leg, causing immense pain. The water turned red as the shark continued its assault on the girl. Stella struggled and fought to free herself from the creature's grip, but her efforts proved futile. The commotion from her frantic movements attracted the attention of several people on the shore. Among them was a courageous local man who bravely plunged into the water and brought Stella to safety on the sandy beach. Her friends stood by in shock, traumatized by the horrific state in which their friend found herself. It was unimaginable how, just moments before, she had been her usual self, laughing and joking around. Now she lay severely injured, bleeding profusely on the shore. Paramedics were called, but despite their best efforts, they could not save the 16-year-old student. Stella's injuries were devastating. She was pronounced dead at the scene around 6 p.m. Following the incident, authorities warned others at the river to avoid entering the water. 16-year-old Joshua Banks and his two friends had been swimming and diving in that area for about an hour. They had noticed Stella approaching on her jet ski but were unaware of the impending attack. It was only through the intervention of friendly locals that they were spared a similar fate, as they would have otherwise returned to swim in the dangerous waters. Stella's tragic and premature death left her loved ones grappling for answers. The entire community was profoundly shaken by the loss of this exceptional young woman. It marked the first fatal shark attack in the Swan River in nearly a century, dating back to 1923. Stella's parents, Matt and Sophie Berry, were devastated by the immense void created by this tragedy. In an official statement, they expressed their grief. Stella was a vibrant and joyful individual with dreams of exploring Europe after completing her education. She possessed a compassionate nature and was cherished as a dear friend by many across multiple schools in the vicinity. Her infectious laughter never failed to lighten our spirits. She was an extraordinary and affectionate elder sister, and the epitome of the daughter we had always hoped for. The day following the attack, a group of Stella's friends gathered near the riverbanks where the incident occurred. Amidst tears and shared solace, they honored their beloved friend's memory. 2 friends pledged to fulfill Stella's desire by running a marathon in her name. Authorities acknowledged that it was uncommon for a shark to venture so far into the river, yet possible during this time of the year, as sharks were more frequently found in the river due to the breeding season. Professor Coulomb Brown, the director of higher degree research biology at Macquarie University, explained, "During the breeding period, female sharks migrate into the river, pursued by the males." Authorities also conceded that while significant efforts had been made to prevent shark attacks in the ocean, the river presented different challenges. Western Australia, Premier Mark McGowan stated that deploying helicopter patrols was unfeasible in the river due to its murky waters. Alternative measures were being considered, such as shark barriers, which create enclosed swimming areas impervious to large marine creatures like sharks. In a shark attack, experts advise individuals to vigorously defend themselves. Maintaining eye contact with the shark and utilizing strength and size is crucial to gain an advantage. Striking the sensitive areas of the shark's nose, eyes, and gills with force is recommended. Playing dead should be avoided, as sharks are opportunistic feeders and will not pass up an easy meal. On March 23, 1994, Heather Boswell found herself amidst a 6-month tenure aboard the Discoverer, a research vessel belonging to the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The ship sailed through the treacherous waters, positioned 30 nautical miles off Isla Sala e Gomez and 300 miles east of Easter Island. On this particular day, the crew members were blessed with a rare respite, a day off from their demanding duties. Some chose to savor the tranquility by indulging in a well-deserved slumber. Meanwhile, a few others sought adventure in the vast expanse of the open ocean. A collective cheer resonated through the air as 9 crew members shed their attire and plunged into the crystal-clear waters, their jubilant spirits buoyed by the liberating embrace of the warm sea. Among the brave souls braving the depths were Heather Boswell and Phil Buffington. They frolicked and explored, reveling in the boundless freedom of the open waters. Meanwhile, 3 crew members vigilantly watched the swimmers from a rigid, inflatable boat. At the same time, some crew members also scanned the horizon from the safety of the Discoverer, ever watchful for signs of deep-sea predators. For nearly 90 minutes, the 9 swimmers reveled in the joys of life, their laughter and playful antics harmonizing with the gentle lapping of the waves. A chilling cry pierced the air during this carefree moment. "Shark!" Initially dismissed as a jest, the warning held a grave truth that Heather and her companions were about to learn. Unbeknownst to them, one of the ocean's most formidable predators had set its sights on Phil Buffington. Had Phil heeded the warning or glanced beneath the deceptively transparent surface, he would have beheld the ominous 18-foot silhouette of a great bull shark lurking just below him. Silently, the colossal beast assessed its prey, positioning itself stealthily beneath Phil before launching its assault. With a swift and merciless strike, the shark's mighty jaws clamped down on Phil's thigh near the knee, attempting to drag him into the depths to assert dominance. Shaken by the abrupt onslaught, Phil fought against the excruciating pain and overwhelming fear. Summoning every ounce of courage, he retaliated by delivering a decisive blow to the shark's head, causing the creature to recoil and release its grip on his leg. Witnessing the terror unfold, the remaining swimmers, unwilling to become the next victims of this ruthless predator, frantically swam toward safety. Regrettably, their response came too late. Amidst the chaos, another warning cry pierced the air, igniting a renewed sense of urgency. This time, no one dared to take any chances with their lives. They swam desperately towards the sanctuary of the ship, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. However, fate dealt a cruel hand to Heather Boswell, who found herself tragically separated from the rest of the crew, positioned 25 feet adrift from the safety of the vessel. From aboard the ship, the monitor observed as the majestic bull shark approached Heather in the water. The rest of the crew, who had already swum to safety, watched as the shark submerged and swiftly emerged from the depths. Its enormous jaws were wide open as it seized Heather by her right ankle. A crew member on the rigid inflatable boat tossed a broom handle for Heather to grasp. Unfortunately, before she could escape the water, the formidable bull shark attacked again, just when they believed the ordeal was over. With serrated teeth, the shark sank its bite into Heather's left leg, around the mid-thigh, forcefully pulling her back into the water. Her blood tainted the surrounding water, turning it a deep red, and suddenly, all became eerily quiet. The shark vanished beneath the surface, and Heather was nowhere to be seen. For a brief moment, the ocean fell silent, devoid of any movement. Then, after what felt like an eternity, a resounding splash shattered the stillness. Heather refused to succumb without a fight. Against all odds, she managed to resurface. Terrified crew members on the boat seized her hands, desperately attempting to haul her on board. Regrettably, the relentless bull shark retained its grip on her flesh, refusing to release. A fierce battle ensued, with the crew striving to liberate Heather from the clutches of death. Unexpectedly, Heather heard a popping sound, hoping it signified only a dislocated limb. As the crew finally pulled her onto the boat's safety, she breathed a sigh of relief. At last, she was free. Meanwhile, a shark attack warning had already been broadcasted over the PA system of the Discoverer ship. A crew member, cleaning his pistol after target practice, overheard the announcement and rushed to investigate the commotion. He witnessed the shark heading toward someone ascending the ship's ladder and, without hesitation, fired multiple rounds at the formidable creature. The shark veered away, swimming toward the stern of the ship. The crew member pursued and fired 2 additional shots. Witnessing the shark become motionless, he had successfully eliminated the monstrous predator. Heather Boswell, lying on the boat, struggling to regain her breath, had yet to comprehend the gravity of her situation. A stinging sensation emanating from her left leg prompted her to gaze down at her thighs, and it was then that she realized her left leg was gone. The popping sound she had heard earlier was the shark parting ways with her limb. Her nervous system awoke as her mind processed this information, and excruciating pain surged. She was lifted from the inflatable boat onto the ship, where a crew member employed his belt as a tourniquet. Phil Buffington was immediately escorted below deck due to excruciating foot pain. Although his injuries were not as severe as Heather's, his left thigh had several deep gashes, while his right knee and thigh had significant puncture wounds. The medics gave him 50 stitches at the sickbay to treat his injuries. Meanwhile, Heather's left leg had been severed at mid-thigh, and her right leg had sustained large gashes and puncture wounds. She had lost a substantial amount of blood and was in a state of shock. When placed on the bed, she exhibited no signs of responsiveness, and her body was cold, with no detectable heartbeat. The medics promptly administered intravenous fluids, and after a short period, they detected a pulse. By evening, Heather's condition had stabilized, and she was moderately sedated. Throughout the night and until 7 a.m. the following day, the crew prepared her for medical evacuation to a land-based medical facility. While attempting to shift her onto a stretcher, Boswell, who weighed 130 pounds, was in such a fragile state that she collapsed. This caused the Holter monitor to display erratic readings, making her blood pressure unmeasurable. Her breathing also became shallow, prompting the medical team to reposition her immediately. They performed CPR and a sternum rub, gradually reviving and stabilizing her. The land-based medical team arrived on the ship and used a rigid inflatable boat to transport Heather. They carefully transferred her onto the boat and lowered her into the water from the ship. Subsequently, Heather was taken to a local clinic before being transferred to Panama, where she underwent surgery at an army hospital. The crew members who acted swiftly and decisively in saving Heather Boswell's life were honored with awards and medals for their bravery. Heather Boswell eventually fully recovered from her puncture wounds. However, she had to wear a prosthetic leg for the remainder of her life. When asked about her experience of being attacked by a shark, she described the pain as less severe than expected, comparing it to a puppy chewing on your finger. It is January 28, 1991, and a group of local fishermen are returning to Calc Bay with a bountiful catch after a day of fishing. Among their haul are various types of fish, including a large school of steenbras. The steenbras, known for their power, thrash vigorously, creating a tumultuous scene on the water's surface. Following Calc Bay fishing regulations, the fishermen understand that steenbras are a protected species and must be released immediately if unintentionally caught. Unfortunately, the fishermen are unaware that their nets have captured a significant number of steenbras. Compounding the situation, the water is tainted with fish blood due to the recent fishing activities. As the group maneuvers through the perilous ocean waters for nearly 1.5 kilometers, they eventually hoist their nets from the sea and make the startling discovery of the illegal fish they unwittingly caught. Mindful of the fishing protocols, the experienced fishermen take a break and release the steenbras into the bay. Little do they know, however, that a colossal great bull shark has been lured by the aroma of their abundant catch and trailed them from just a few meters away. As they work to free the steenbras, everything seems to be going smoothly until the group notices an enormous fin piercing the water's surface next to their boat. According to an article from sharktrust.org, nearly 2/3 of a shark's brain is dedicated to its sense of smell alone. In fact, sharks can detect even a teaspoon of blood in an average of 375,000 liters of water. This implies that an open pool of fish blood in a shark's territory is an irresistible invitation to indulge in a feast. The fishermen describe this shark as the largest they have ever encountered, a sentiment they all echo. They estimate its length to be around 20 feet or possibly more. Typically, a shark of that size would not be interested in such small fish. The men know it would much prefer to feast on larger marine mammals, such as the abundant Cape fur seals in the bay. As the men observe, the shark circles their boat, its gaze fixated on the trapped school of fish. Surprisingly, it refrains from attacking. After a few more circuits around the boat, the massive bull shark abruptly changes course, causing horror to grip the men as it heads straight towards Fishhook Beach. On a bustling day in the waters, the clock strikes 7 in the morning. Fishhook Bay reopens after a mandatory 2-day closure. Sarah James, a retired English teacher at the age of 77, embarks on her customary morning swim, a ritual she has faithfully followed for the past 17 years. Maintaining her passion for fitness, Sarah frequents the bay for swimming, dedicating 30 to 45 minutes per session at least 6 times a week. Unbeknownst to her, this particular day has an unexpected twist. Clad in her swimsuit and sporting her beloved red cap, little does Sarah realize that this will be her final venture into the water. As she gracefully dives into the ocean and traverses approximately 60 yards away from the shore, Sarah skillfully moves through the pristine, translucent blue waters, commencing her customary laps parallel to the beach. The weather remains tranquil, with a gentle breeze flowing from the south to the southeast, creating no ripples to conceal the sound of her splashing arms and legs. Unfortunately, this alluring commotion is a strong magnet for inquisitive sharks, equipped to detect minute vibrations in the water, a technique they often employ to locate wounded fish near the surface. Despite around 30 to 40 individuals on the shore, only 2 people, including Sarah, ventured into the water. Continuing her swim, Sarah is suddenly met with a colossal fin emerging from the water approximately 25 yards away. Just as Sarah transitions from a backstroke to a breaststroke, completely unaware, she inadvertently positions herself directly in front of the approaching shark. In an instant, she freezes in terror, locking eyes with the sharp gaze of an immensely massive great bull shark. The creature swiftly breaches the surface in front of her, triggering a surge of adrenaline through her veins. Sarah desperately attempted to swim away from the massive and powerful shark, utilizing all her strength. However, it quickly became apparent that outrunning the shark was impossible. In a horrifying sequence of events, the shark lunged at her with incredible speed, delivering a devastating bite to her abdomen. Witnesses watched in horror as the water turned crimson around Sarah, the shark releasing her momentarily before striking again, causing her torso to rupture and her intestines to spill out. The scene resembled something out of a nightmarish movie. Showing no mercy, the shark circled Sarah's motionless body, attacking from a different angle. It clamped onto Sarah's fragile frame with a final ferocious strike, shaking her violently to tear chunks of flesh and fat. Though her fate seemed inevitable, witnesses later recounted that the shark released her once more, circling her several times before seizing her for the final time, dragging her beneath the surface, never to be seen again. The onlookers, paralyzed by fear and horror, could only watch as the shark's dorsal fin disappeared into the depths, leaving an overwhelming dread. Rescue teams, including boats from the National Sea Rescue Institute, a patrol craft from the South African Navy, and a red SkyMed helicopter were deployed to search for Sarah's remains. After an extensive search, the officer in the helicopter eventually spotted the shark near Clovelly, close to Fishhook. Reports confirmed that this immense bull shark exceeded 20 feet in length, dwarfing the size of the helicopter itself. Despite the determined efforts of the search and rescue teams, no traces of Sarah, except for her red swimming cap found near the initial attack site, were discovered. A photograph taken unintentionally by a photographer a few days before her tragic demise was a cherished memory for Sarah's family and friends. They found solace in this picture, a poignant reminder of the good times when Sarah would return home from her daily swim, donning her beloved bull bathrobe and her favorite red swim cap.